All right, hello everyone. Welcome to this brand spanking new edition of 5RoundMMA. My name is Alex Myers. Alongside me is Albert Cita. Guillermo Cita. Got a lot to talk about today.
Oh my gosh! Right off the bat, you're just gonna get me in a bad mood right off the bat.
If you're listening, Guillermo just did the John Cena "You Can't See Me" face wave. If you're hearing us on Podomatic or iTunes, you can't see
that's what he did. That's what really cheesed me off.
We're gonna talk about today. We got the Bisping versus Kung Lee, the two fight nights on one night. The shocker. Benson Henderson goes down. But speaking of John Cena, I want to start off the show with there is a new
you really want to start
there is a
off
new
with John
champion
Cena?
in the world of professional wrestling.
Yes.
Last Sunday, Brock Lesnar demolished John Cena in about 15 minutes of a squash match.
Yeah, it was a 16-minute 16 suplexes done in one match.
F5 in the first 13 seconds of the fight, the wrestling match.
Let's keep it professional.
But rumor is though that they're going to have a rematch right away, right?
Nights of Champion. Of course, John Cena it put his rematch clause into effect.
Yeah, I think his rematch clause no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Great booking by WWE, I think, right?
No.
What's the point of that? I mean, he just squashed him the next one. Guillermo, you're a John Cena fan, aren't you?
No, I'm not a John Cena fan, but
even though you just told me you can't see me.
I'm a fan of money, so I mean, John Cena sells for all the kids. You gotta keep him relevant.
I'm moving on from. How'd you guys week so far? I mean, the week's over.
Amazing fantasy football week. So all the drafts are taking place this week. Of course, I try to avoid Tony Romo.
Yeah,
say it right.
We're on there. Don't say it right.
I try to avoid Tony Romo as much as possible, and I really hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, Albert's here wearing a Cowboys baseball cap.
Because again, we did have fantasy football. Everyone pretty much did the drafts.
In the same league, right?
Yeah, we're in the same league. It's pretty a big thing.
Yeah.
Loser has to wear a pink tutu.
And people were shocked that, and I think people at home was gonna be shocked that my second round pick was.
Well, who's your first pick?
Jason Wimmer. It was RG3.
Who's your first pick, Guillermo?
My first pick, Eddie Lacy.
Oh, who's your second pick?
Jason Wimmer.
Who's your second pick?
AJ Green.
That's how you say. I think it's like the biggest mistake for like teams or fantasy owners is when you stay loyal to your team, right?
Yeah.
That's like
that's where you see the downfall in a lot of people. You see someone pick up the whole Carolina Panthers roster, and you're like, okay, really?
Just because they're Panthers fans. All right, so enough football, enough wrestling. Let's get to the whole premise of the show: mixed martial arts. Saturday night I had two fights, one in China, one in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Complete opposite ends of the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
First one was Kung Lee.
I woke up to this news.
Yeah. First one was Kung Lee. The main event was Kung Lee versus Michael Bisping in the middleweight bout. Also, Tyron Woodley was on this card, right?
Yeah.
Thoughts on the card as a whole? Did you guys just like the outcome? I know you guys didn't see it because I 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of highlights, and I was able to see the main event. But overall, I thought it was pretty action packed because it was the smaller weight classes.
Yeah.
Tyron Woodley had a very impressive showing. The Kung Lee match was so-so, but everyone saw the picture that we put up, right?
Yeah. So that kind of gets to my point now. On Instagram, we posted a picture of the outcome of the fight of Kung Lee's battered face. And then one of our followers, I don't know his name, but his street handle is RZ_908, mentioned that Kung Lee is a novelty fighter now. She was fighting those weird kind of matchups, a card filler. So and then going into this bout, that was kind of like Michael Bisping's kind of like on the teetering time. Is he still a contender, or is he nothing about a novelty fighter? Like, are we going to see Michael Bisping like Vitor Belfort just fight in England or in Europe now?
Well, Vitor Belfort is fighting for the title.
Well, I mean, but before that, wasn't he just a novelty fighter, just fighting in Brazil? Almost like a card filler, right?
Until he became relevant with all the wins.
But then the TRT thing, right?
But you look at the card, it would be Vitor Belfort and like a million Brazilians you never heard of. But it was just pretty much just to show Vitor Belfort in Brazil.
So with this win now, does this keep Michael Bisping in a contender status or a novelty fighter?
No, I think it keeps him contender status.
I think it keeps him as a contender. I mean, Kung Lee hasn't fought in quite a while.
But I 100% with the guy that sent us the message. I mean, I really do think Kung Lee and like Rich Franklin, these are novelty fighters.
I thought Rich Franklin already took another job somewhere else.
But he was already a novelty fighter towards the end.
Wanderlei Silva is another novelty.
Let me ask you, like as a whole, are these novelty fighters? Yeah, Chael Sonnen's probably the biggest one. Are these novelty fighters good for UFC or bad?
Good because they're fan favorites. All these novelty guys that you just named are pretty much the most popular UFC fighters that we have today. So,
yeah, but I mean, they're not really relevant in any.
And they don't need to be relevant.
I mean, they just need
to have a name to sell.
Wasn't like the first novelty fighter kind of like Chuck Liddell, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like they just
like
put him up
after he lost his
after
title.
his title reign,
the whole Tito thing, and like Tito versus Chuck before. But do you guys like having these guys as the main event, or you made the co-main event, or? Because you said sometimes they stack this novelty fight and the rest of the card is bunch you don't know it, right?
Yeah.
So is it kind of like
no? It makes sense putting him at the main event because people are going to tune in, so they'll watch the whole card, and that's how you expose them to all these new fighters.
I think as long as it's not like a pay-per-view,
yeah,
I'm fine with it because pay-per-view, I think you really have to take those seriously. And these free like fight nights or the ones on the Fight Pass, I think you're more accepting to say, oh, okay. I'm watching it for the two maybe the co-main event, main event, and then maybe I might check out someone new. Maybe I'll check out the next up and coming guy, kind of thing. Which doesn't really hurt the sport.
Do you think it's more lucrative for a guy to be a novelty fighter than just go for look at Chael Sonnen? I think he made more money.
Well, I think that's what I was gonna say. I think
the...
you get the real paycheck when you become a novelty fighter. I think Kung Lee, I'm pretty sure if you look up, he probably got paid real big bucks.
And speaking of the whole Kung Lee fight, if you go on like on Twitter and Instagram, people posted obviously photos of Kung Lee. All of those captions, warrior spirit. Great job, warrior heart, but nothing about great performance, Michael Bisping. I thought it was kind of weird. So it kind of like with this loss, I think Kung Lee even grew more in popularity, even though the fight was in China.
Yeah, but, I really think he can fight again. And even though he had this devastating loss, I still think they'll still book him in China. I think they'll still sell out that place, and I think people will still want to tune in.
I think the more cards, the more the needs for novelty fighters, right?
Yeah. I think so.
Also, Nick Diaz is probably one of the biggest ones right now. He said straight up, "I'm not going to fight listen for a title or a novelty fight," basically, right?
Yeah.
Anderson Silva is he now a novelty fighter, Guillermo?
Well, we'll see. I mean, depends if he beats Nick Diaz and then what his route is. If it's towards the title, I don't think he's a novelty fighter.
The only problem sometimes is these novelty fighters don't know that they're novelty fighters.
Yeah.
And like I'll put Frank Mir as one of them.
Oh, okay.
And there's some other ones too where like they really want to still act like they want to do the last run for the belt.
Yeah.
When in fact they really should just start looking for those big fights as far as name wise or something that still sparks interest. I mean, just to kind of get a good paycheck and
even Randy Couture
still entertain the fans. But I think that they make the mistake when they still stay in that high caliber like Nogueira, for example, like Big Nog. Some of those fighters he shouldn't have been in there, and everybody knew it. Yeah, you want to give Nogueira all the respect and everything he has done, but at the same time, you gotta know when it's like, dude, you cannot be putting him against these type of guys.
Yeah. Well, speaking of like the title chasers, is kind of close to your heart. Is Machida a novelty fighter now?
Wow,
he's becoming a novelty fighter. I'm not gonna lie.
You want me to leave the studio?
No, I mean like
salting me right now.
No, I totally agree. I mean,
no, he bested the champion right now. It could have easily went either way.
I mean, he lost his title,
but he didn't lose in convincing fashion.
One or two
wins away. No, he did. What fight were you watching?
It was unanimous.
No. But he brought in the pain to Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman felt that for I bet you 2 more months.
I think it's now we're kind of
no, we're not,
so
because
we haven't really figured out the definition of novelty.
Well, what is it? To you? Okay, to me, what is it?
If they're in title contention, they're not novelty fighters.
Okay.
If they are not
kind
of older or what?
Well, I mean, once they get older in age and they're not going towards title contention, I think that's when they become a novelty fighter.
What about Frankie Edgar? Still kind of young, but kind of like he's kind of novelty. The whole BJ Penn thing.
I don't think he's a novelty fighter. I thought BJ Penn was a novelty fighter.
So it's kind of like what is the definition of novelty fighter?
For me, is look at it like Nogueira. The guy got his arm broken. He almost got his arm broken twice.
Okay.
In devastating fashion. I mean, you didn't even see that if he showed up on the fight or not.
Yeah.
Same thing with Frank Mir. He had some brutal beatings.
Yeah.
But Machida,
he took it to heart.
Yeah, no, but it's serious.
Machida
could have won that fight in a couple rounds.
First of all, what's your definition of a novelty fighter? Because you're bringing up Frank Mir, you're bringing up Nogueira, and now you're bringing up Machida.
So people
what classifies them as novelty?
A big name, but not the wins to back it up.
Kind of true. So maybe they had a shot at the title, were former champions. They can't be the best of the best, but they kind of just pair up against.
And you can't say that about Machida because he just before Chris Weidman, he beat maybe one of the best top contenders in that weight class, which is Guillermo Musasi.
Well, it's kind of true. I mean, like even Musasi's kind of true, like a little bit of novelty fighter too, right? They put him in Europe.
No, but I think
he's in title contention.
I think he's in a different boat because Musasi doesn't care. He just wants to fight.
Fight whatever.
Yeah, you want me to fight Tuesday? I'll fight Tuesday. If it's for the belt, that's cool. If it's not, that's cool too, dude.
True. I'm glad you know Gregor Musasi is so personal.
Yeah.
We kick it every now and then.
Well, I think now with two cards on one night, multiple cards during the week, we're going to see more of these novelty fights. Guys are going to be classified as it's going to be I think you have a pound for pound novelty division, right?
I can't wait to see the Kung Lee versus Vanderlei Silva too.
Yeah, really.
I would get pumped.
See, but now you get making what's the definition of a gatekeeper? I mean, like that's kind of the same thing.
Someone that can beat everybody except for the top 5.
True, but then like also that spot's kind of reserved for maybe a guy who's not super old yet, because you think
like Ryan Bader is still young. You know?
And plus people are gonna put Ryan Bader.
So there's an age limit to this novelty fighter.
Yes, there is.
It's kind of a weird gray line type of thing. I don't know, because you think about. I still think Frank Yeager's a novelty fighter. Tell you the truth,
I do too.
I don't.
I see, but then like you think Machida is
like a perfect one was.
I don't even think Machida is.
I think.
Why'd you bring it up, man? You said
I brought
it
up. Well, novelty fighter. Well, pretty much this show's a novelty, right?
That's a good topic to bring up on Instagram or Facebook. You know who's a novelty person?
Who?
Guillermo.
He
goes to the soccer games because he's a novelty for the. You know, he kind of brings up the spirit.
I come out of retirement today, Alex, and then I'll show him who's a novelty.
He's a novelty player.
when I lead the team
this
to
whole
a
segment's
win.
a novelty. So stick around. We're talking about the UFC Fight Night, Henderson versus Dos Anjos, and the future of the lightweight division. So stick around.
Please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com.
We are back. Albert's still a little mad about the whole Machida novelty fight.
And then how do we start off? Too? He goes and does he did the John Cena, the three finger thing.
What is that?
That's Illuminati, dude. Don't be doing that.
John Cena is part of Illuminati.
I just know it ruffles your feathers, so it gives me more reason to do it.
You start with John Cena, and then you call it Machida novelty fighter.
No, I didn't. It was you, Alex.
You're making fun of his Cowboys hat. Look at that. Albert's just completely red in the face right now.
He looks like a NASCAR driver today.
Hey, what's Telegata? Or no, what's
Talladega?
Oh, it was Bristol.
Was that a video game company, Telegata? What video game do they make?
Albert better not win the Rock and Green
Star of the show for that.
Superstar shows it today.
I had better points. All right.
Okay. So I want to focus more on now on the Benson Henderson fight card. Him and Dos Santos main evented in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Shocker. Loses, so I kind of want to focus on that and also the future of the lightweight division now, because I think we kind of jinxed Benson Henderson last week, calling him the people's champion.
Yeah,
and he got knocked out. First time I think he's ever got knocked out before.
Yeah.
So thoughts on the card as a whole, and then we'll dig into the main event and then the future of the lightweight division.
Albert can take this one.
Yeah, well, we can pretty much skim through.
Was your boy Max Holloway?
Because I mean, Francis Coleman lost. He got knocked out, like viciously knocked out. There was a couple of contenders in there, but the only one I really want to talk about, because not take too much time out of this card, because I don't want to encourage these type of cards.
Okay.
But
why not? Tell me why you want to encourage these type of cards.
Well, because it wasn't action packed. I mean, to me, a good card is when I want to see the prelims. I back then I even see some of the Facebook fights because they were good.
I mean, you should know by now the UFC is in the business of pleasing Albert Sita.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Come on now. Well, okay. Well, I will say one thing, because I was talking about Ben Saunders, because he's coming off a loss. He won. He won. He had Eddie Bravo in his corner.
Omoplata.
And he executed. Modified Omoplata. And he executed the rubber guard very good, which a lot of fighters don't use. And Eddie Bravo claims to be this is the new way to pretty much be on your back, is to use the rubber guard. And he used it pretty good. And hey, you can't argue with the results.
Didn't BJ Penn use the rubber guard a lot?
He used more the butterfly guard, though.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
But anyways, was Max Holloway. Max Holloway.
Your boy's only like 19 still?
He's only like 22.
Yeah, no, like but
he already fought all the top 5 people.
Yeah.
But he's back in the winning circle. He looked good, technically good, and other than that, that's all I really want.
UFC's future Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Because BJ Penn's out.
And it's crucial to get that Hawaiian market. I'll tell you that. Max
Holloway might be the future of the Hawaiian UFC. Also, main event, Benson Henderson versus Rafael Dos Anjos, the uncrowned people's champion, what we call it. He kind of said he was defending the title that wasn't there because, Anthony Pettis is hurt or off filming Tough. So Benson took that crown. I'm the champion. I'm defending it. This is my house.
So we have a new people's champion now.
Yes, we have a new people's champion now. So also kind of couple this in with the news that another big lightweight was signed to the UFC. Former Bellator champion, defeater of Michael Chandler, Eddie Alvarez, signed to the UFC to fight Cowboy Cerrone.
Depends who you talk to as far as defeated Michael Chandler.
True, but he did though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So it was a controversial decision.
So just you guys' thoughts on Eddie Alvarez being signed to the UFC?
Everything's controversial.
And added to the lightweight division, Guillermo.
I just think this is a good blood into the lightweight division. They need new blood because it seemed like the lightweight division was a stacked division, and now it seems to thin out a little bit.
Frank Yeager left. Gray Maynard is gone. TJ Grant hurt.
Clay Guida went down.
Jim Miller kind of on the fence still a little bit.
So Eddie Alvarez brings new matchups. I want to see him against Donald Cerrone. I think that's a very good test.
Yeah.
But Eddie Alvarez, the only thing he can measure himself was Michael Chandler. Now you can measure Eddie Alvarez's skills against the best in the world.
So speaking of Cowboy Cerrone, he was scheduled to fight Bobby Green, who's coming off a huge win.
And Bobby Green got pushed back.
And he got pushed back. Now he's kind of lifting the dust. Does that hurt Bobby Green? I think you're a big Bobby Green fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a huge Bobby Green fan.
I don't think it hurt him. I think maybe
I don't know how you say it doesn't hurt him.
Well, because I think it was too soon for coming from the last fight.
No, but
against Josh Thompson, he went all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
So I think if anything, he needs a little. I think he needed a little bit more rest than anything. No. So I see it as a good thing.
I think it's a really, really bad thing because he was finally going to be known as a guy facing these top contenders.
He went from
Josh Thompson to
Cowboy Cerrone.
But Josh Thompson is higher than Donald Cerrone.
I know, but the fact that he stays...
It's a step down.
No, but the fact that he keeps fighting named fighters...
Well, technically, I'm on the official UFC lightweight rankings. Donald Cerrone's number 4. Josh Thompson's number 6.
See?
But when was that updated? Because when
I'm not looking at it now. I don't know.
Anyways,
and Bobby Green ranked number 7 actually right now.
Anyways, it would have kept them at least out there as far as finding name opponents.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they bumped him down, it's almost saying like UFC said, "Oh, we think the better.
Right,
we think the better." No, it has to be.
I look at it this way.
No, it has to be. That's
Eddie Alvarez Donald Cerrone fight is an eliminator fight. You were going to eliminate Bobby Green or Donald Cerrone from going towards the title. Now you really actually set up a number 1 contender fight, Bobby Green versus the winner of this.
So you said number 1 contender about Rafael Dos Anjos just knocked out the former champion, the guy who...
But
is he not number 1 contender now, in your eyes?
No, he's not. No? Everybody sees it as a huge upset.
Albert's like shaking his head.
You are. I hope he doesn't win the Rocky. You are horrible today. Horrible. I mean, I can't even believe what you're saying right now. Because first off, the guy that's facing the champion.
This guy said that Dos Anjos was horrible, that he got knocked out by this person, he broke his jaw by Clay Guida, and now he's defending Dos Anjos. I don't understand it.
Go. Can't finish. Can't finish. Because you're horrible, dude. You're literally so horrible right now. Because first off,
Cowboys making it brave, isn't it?
Gilbert Melendez is facing the champion.
Yes.
Who, guess what, has a loss over Benson Henderson, who just got beat. But Rafael Dos Anjos. And yeah, I mentioned those things before we were setting up and stuff like that. But that was like literally a long time ago. He's been on a 5-6 fight win streak. He has wins over Cowboy Cerrone. He has the big name wins already. So it's not like he just came out of the air. Yeah. Although, and it's a big shocker.
So you think Dos Anjos deserves it over Donald Cerrone, over Eddie Alvarez,
that's not what I'm
over
saying.
Bobby Green?
That was just sorry, Kimo.
That
was nothing against you, bro. It's because I just knocked down the Kimo picture. But no. But what I'm trying, that was just the first. I'm trying to get every point that everyone got wrong.
Okay.
So that was just that was just the first one.
Okay.
The other thing is, I'm still back to Bobby Green because it really does cheese me off that they think they can just
cheeses you off
because they bump them down. And we don't really know who the better fighters between Cowboy and Bobby Green is.
At the moment,
At the moment, yeah. For them to bump them down, I think was kind of an insult, saying that, we think Cowboy's a better name for this fight, which I really think they should have kept it the same and found somebody else for Eddie Alvarez. Maybe even wait after this fight and see what will happen and then put him in. I think they kind of just rushed into it. But with that said, I did want to say, my point is...
Is Dos Anjos number contender?
I'm going to get to that one. But first of all, I want to say, every single time there's a big sign in any weight class, it seems to open up that weight class. Like Hector Lombard. Every single time a new big superstar gets introduced, I feel like almost the tides completely change. And there's 1,000 matchups to do now. You get me?
Yeah.
Even if
especially after Benson Henderson lost.
Yeah, especially. But see, it's weird how it always happens like this. Every time you introduce, remember the first time Benson Henderson came into the UFC?
Well,
and then what happened? The debacle that happened there.
Yeah.
But with that said, I do think Dos Santos is the number 1 contender.
No wonder this guy always thinks in conspiracy theories because he thinks he knows the insider information. How does he know about what Bobby Green wants to do? Or
I read his Twitter.
How they approached him.
Did you read his Twitter?
His physical
Did you read his Twitter? He said, if you read his Twitter, Bobby Green said he was 100% fine. He can't wait until they give him another matchup. He's ready to go. Just read his Twitter, bro.
So let's basically, I want to just go from the top all the way down. Obviously, you got Pettis versus Melendez coming up. I think when is it? September.
Whoa,
December.
The tough thing starts in September.
Are they fighting? I don't even know when they're fighting. Anyway, so you got that. Benson Henderson was no more contender. Actually, people were kind of saying at the press conference, he was really kind of like, I mean, I got knocked out or lost, but
you got caught.
Yeah. So what does this do to Benson Henderson? Is he now no longer the people's champ, or is he still top of the division? So
he's still top of the division.
Is he still ranked number 1?
Look at everybody.
He's still top 3.
Yeah.
Who should he fight next?
Look who I say.
He cleared out the division.
Yeah,
he only has two people
deserves
that
a
beat him.
rematch.
Should he get Bobby Green a rematch?
I think he gets a rematch for his people's champ.
Really?
Yeah, for the people's belt.
What about Bobby Green? I mean, he's available now, right?
Wow, that's a huge thing for him too. But like I said, that's the cool thing when we get somebody new like Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah.
There's so much mixes you can do. I mean, technically you can.
Technically you had this fight to begin with.
Yeah. So also, there's also a sleeper in this division we didn't talk about. Number 3 ranked Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Who was the original opponent?
Yeah, he posted a picture of and he posted a picture of the knockout. Benson Henderson by Rafael Dos Anjos, next to a picture of him manhandling Rafael Dos Anjos, who was his last victory. So he may be, I think he's probably ahead now. I think you bump him up, Benson Henderson down one slot.
If anything, that brings up Nurmagomedov versus Benson Henderson with that rivalry.
Yeah.
If you're talking about that Twitter picture.
22-0. I mean, I think he's more making fun of Dos Anjos, like, hey, don't try anything.
Yeah, don't try act like you're somebody when I already beat you.
I know he hasn't even fought Benson Henderson yet, too. So I think...
See, even then, those are interesting matchups right there. I mean,
how about this? Rafael Dos Anjos versus Bobby Green, Don Cerrone versus Eddie Alvarez, Benson Henderson versus Nurmagomedov.
But that doesn't really clear anything.
Who's the
number one contender?
Do you want to see those fights or not?
Of course I want to see those fights, but that still doesn't clear. That doesn't give me any direction to who should face at the Pettis.
Come back around to Eddie Alvarez. If he beats Cowboy Cerrone like decisively, is he no more contender?
I think so.
I don't know. I think there's too much going on now.
Yeah.
No, if you think about it, because you got Nurmagomedov.
The fact that they took Bobby Green out and put Eddie Alvarez in, it tells me that they put a lot of stock into Eddie Alvarez. So if Eddie Alvarez wins with all that invested, they have to give it to him.
True.
I just think the actual title fight. The only one that actually declare
the only one
that Cowboy wins. Is he?
Yeah, like I said, it's too far out.
If he wins, I don't think he gets it. I think they put him against Dos Anjos.
So is Cowboy Cerrone now a novelty fighter? Is he that?
No. He's not a novelty fighter because he has wins.
I just think we gotta wait till we get a date.
It's so crazy. Like
for the championship.
The week they sign Eddie Alvarez is the week Benson Henderson loses.
Yeah. And then everything just scatters around.
Everything scattered around.
Because it could have been an easy. If Eddie Alvarez wins, he faces Benson Henderson, then we'll see who faces Anthony Pettis. It would have been that easy.
Yeah, this is today the UFC fighter rankings for the lightweight division. Number 1, Benson Henderson. That hasn't changed yet, but
they put Eddie Alvarez in there yet?
No, number 2, Gilbert Melendez. 3, Khabib Nurmagomedov. 4, Cerrone. 5, Dos Anjos. 6, Thompson. 7, Bobby Green. 8, Jim Miller. 9, Miles Jury's on there. 10, Michael Johnson, and then 11, Edson Barboza, and then Khabilov, the guy who Rustem, who Benson's last beat. 12,
who was caught?
Jorge Masvidal. 13, Ross Pearson. Number 14, and Gray Maynard, number 15.
Wow.
So that is the UFC lightweight mess right now. Kind of cool though. Kind of interesting.
But real quick before we leave,
yeah,
the main reason I want Eddie Alvarez to not only steamroll this division and win the title,
why?
Is just to show that Dana White was always wrong from the beginning. Because he was so. Remember when they asked him, "Well, I'm not going to sign Eddie Alvarez if he loses. Why do I want to sign a guy coming off?" Dude, he's about to be. I want people to see that because I hate people that talk down to Bellator and stuff like that.
Yeah,
there is high caliber fighters in other organizations, people that they can easily contend with the number 1 guys in UFC. And you can. And what makes me mad is because people try to do a lot of the record playing. Well, he didn't face so and so, and he's only faced this guy. I mean, you could just tell sometimes by their performance alone. You see stuff where you're like, dude, I didn't see none of these guys doing the stuff Eddie Alvarez and Michael Chandler were doing.
True. Now I always want real quick before we leave. Now that Eddie Alvarez is gone out of from Bellator, other than Michael Chandler and Pat Curran, who else? Like, who are the big stars? What do you think? When do you say Bellator? Give me a name. Bellator.
Yeah. Nobody.
Bellator, give me a name.
No, I think it's still Michael Chandler.
One guy.
Guy though. He has to retain his belt. But
he doesn't have a belt now.
He doesn't have the belt.
No, that's why he has to go. I mean, sorry, he has to go get his belt, regain his belt again. And that's still a beautiful matchup. And then you still have Pat Curran. Pat Curran is
what's a beautiful matchup?
The rematch. Michael Chandler versus Strauss.
Will Brooks.
There goes. Strauss is the other guy.
Yeah. Strauss is the featherweight. But I mean, it's kind of like King. I mean, I think we already seen King Mo at his best, right? King Mo is not. Czech Congo, Rampage, Tito. I mean, this is kind of like those are the big names.
It's mostly the lower guys. But again, they have Scott Croker now. Maybe we'll get more infused in there. There is.
But I'm just saying, Eddie Alvarez is a big loss for him right away.
Yeah, it's a huge loss.
So
huge
it's kind of like
huge.
And they're a card every week. They're not really getting the top guys, but it's kind of like I don't know. It's just kind of Bellator, Michael Chandler. That's about it. Mm-hmm. They lost Ben Askren. They lost Ben Saunders.
They lost Ben Saunders, but yeah, Ben Saunders never reached the very peak of Bellator, but yeah, in UFC,
is it a fair trade? UFC, I'll give Bellator Czech Congo, and is it a fair Czech Congo for Eddie Alvarez? Is that a fair trade?
If this was NBA, this would have been blocked because there's no way you could trade like Eddie Alvarez and Ben Saunders and then get nothing back in return.
They got Czech Congo in return. That's what they got.
Okay. So Czech Congo for Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah, I think that is it for today. Until then, make sure to follow us on Twitter at FiveRoundMMA. Also follow us on Instagram at the same user handle at FiveRoundMMA. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic. What else? Check out FiveRoundMMA.com for Wes. Putting up videos there now. Fighter interviews, weigh-ins, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
On the FiveRoundMMA.com.
Yep, and check out OvertimeNation.com to read our articles, commentaries, editorials on the world of sports and MMA. Go follow them on Twitter at Overtime_Nation. And all the Charlie's back. Kind of like he's been on vacation and then he ditches us, but he's back now. So who is today's Rock and Green star of the show? All right. I won.
Just because you ruffled my feathers, huh?
Rock and Green Star of the Show is brought to you by rockandgreensoap.com. For the full line of eco-friendly soaps and detergents, please visit rockandsoap.com and follow them on Twitter at rockandgreensoap. And a big thank you to Redemption Martial Arts. The RMA Foundation is a nonprofit organization committed to anti-bullying awareness. Visit their website at redemptionmartialarts.com to see how you can join the movement to stop bullying, and follow them on Twitter at redemption_MA. Rise up against bullying. Albert, we got to say it. Take us away.
I just want to thank executive producer Guillermo Cita, our engineer over there, Ollie the Trolley, our sound engineer Steven Razzle with Razzle Records, and thanks everybody for listening.
Cream of the crop.